Hello, everybody. My name is Sivan. I would like here to invite you to our webinar about balancing security and agility, and that's by JFrog. We will here talk mainly about how to secure your organization, but still being agile and delivering fast. So I'm a product manager here in JFrog. I've been working on the curation and catalog products for about a year now. With me here, I have Dror. Dror is, well, Dror, maybe you present yourself and then I will tell you how we know each other.
Sure. So I'm leading a development group in a large healthcare organization, and facing a lot of needs that I needed the JFrog and curation to resolve for me.
So Dror is one of our long clients with a long relationship. We've been working together, I think, for over a year now. It's a partnership where they give us feedback and help us develop a better product. So because Draw is from healthcare and it's super important for them to have the security as their main pillar. We're working together, and we invited him because he brings a great experience from where on one side the security is super important, but from the other side you still need to develop and deliver. And we will hear his side of that to see how they handle this challenge from there. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? So I will start by saying what are the challenges that organizations are facing today in their development, and also I want to talk about why the early detection is good for you. So a lot of the organizations do a detection in later stages of their development, but we're going to talk about the shift left and even lefter than left. Then I will talk about the common practices, how the things are done today in many organizations around the world. Then we'll dive into in curation and catalog, how they helping you to manage this challenge. We'll do a little bit demo, not too much, just to show you the product overall, and some real world examples. And one thing that it was important for me to put here is how to manage adoption, of products. And as you know, like there are a lot of products on the market that you say they look great when you buy them, and then when you try to adopt them, it's a very big challenge. So I wanted to take from this webinar also how to adopt a product like JFrog Curation and how to make sure it's really working for you and not against you. Okay, so just JFrog at glance before we start. We're international companies, employees all around the world. It's a Nasdaq company. 83% of Fortune 100 are our clients, and we're known for our Artifactory product that's used worldwide and with many customers and growing more and more every year. You can see the names here. I don't think we need to go into details. A lot of famous names, and we're controlling a lot of the top 10 in their segment, and we're very proud of that. What we do in general, so it started as a DevOps company. It's mainly a DevOps. But 5 years ago, JFrog purchased a security company and started to develop their SecOps product. So this is what we're focusing on today, their security suite. JFrog has a lot of products in the security segment. We're going to focus on two of them, which is the curation and the catalog, which are the shift left, the lefter than left products. But we will also give example from other products as Dror here is using all of them and using them together, it's important to say that one product does not solve the whole problem. So you need to compile them together to be actually able to enjoy the full protection. Just a little bit about MLOps and IoT. So JFrog purchased Quack, which is an MLOps company, to help us to drive further into the machine learning world, and IoT for companies that have small to medium devices that need to control their code distribution, and also was purchased by JFrog to complete the whole experience. But as I said, we're going to focus on the security products, because this is what we are here. This is what's important. This is why we invited Doro to help us. Just one last thing before we start. You can submit the questions via the QA feature at any time. We would love that. We would love to hear your questions. And also, if you have any problems, there is technical support. So you can reach through the chat if you have any issues, and they will try to help you as much as possible. So with that, let's start. So what are the challenges that are faced today by the organization? So I will start from the security point of view, because I'm a security product manager, and then Doro will dive in from the development point of view, from his experience. So I will start with malicious. Malicious is on the rise. There are more and more malicious packages found in many types of packages, different types. Specifically, NPM is on the rise, and this is scary stuff that you need to avoid in your organization. There's no question of malicious if it's okay or not okay. In contrast to the CVEs that sometimes can be applicable, not applicable, okay, maybe this one is okay, maybe that one is not okay. Malicious is never okay. You should never have a malicious anywhere in your pipeline, and that's why you should block it as soon as possible. Also, not many people know, but there is malicious found in machine learning models. So organizations want to go try and use ML models to deliver faster, but it comes with a great risk of malicious ML models, which is a little known fact. And if we are going to the CVEs, so more and more CVEs are discovered every month. It's very hard to track them, especially manually. And if you look at the graphs, you can see that the ML package report from 2021 is on a constant skyrocketing, and you can also see the CVE disclosure per month is also rising and rising. So this is the security scary risks that many of us know and afraid of, especially the CISOs. On the other side, you have the developers that need to develop. And from our experience, 80% of the code is based on the open source. So Dror, what's your take on how much open source do you use in your company?
Sure. Let me start by saying that, again, we chose JFrog for the security. And while having Artifactory is very nice, the main reason we chose JFrog was the security side. And again, we are a small team on a health organization, which means we are very limited on resources, but have very high demands for security from a security chief and stuff like that. So we wanted to introduce modern development into the healthcare world. So this means if we want to move fast and ship fast, we have to rely on open source. And when we rely on open source, very quickly, we understood that we have either two choices in the security sense. Either because the amount of CVEs and malicious stuff in the open source world is so overwhelming. So you have either one of two choices. Either you're going to ignore it, or you're going to invest tremendous amount of personnel and resources in scanning these packages out and understanding each CVE, if it's relevant for you or not. This is why we quickly understood we need a centralized automated solution that will do this job for us. And again, I understand. I completely agree with mainly with the last 3 points of this slide, but for us,
Yeah.
we gave a solution to these points.
Yeah, so just to kind of drive it down, so there are thousands of new packages every day. So even as Dol said, you cannot really grasp the amount. Every day there is a new package coming out or a new version of a package coming out. But you still, even in a healthcare industry, their clients still demanding great products. It still needs to be out there, and you cannot say as in all days we'll deliver from time to time new versions. No, you need to deliver fast, and this is a great challenge as the role mentioned. So, what are the common practices to actually address it? So, and this is what we meant. This is what we saw from most of the clients. So, if you look at the left side, you have the open source packages. Then you have the code, the build, the promotion. So the development life cycle. So usually, what most of the organization do, they scan during the promote stage, and then what they find, they fix, and they give the developers the free range to download whatever you want, how many times you want, from wherever you want. We will scan it later, and if there is a problem, we will handle it. This is one approach. The second approach is usually, so it's detection and fix. So you detect and fix. The second approach is what we usually see actually in healthcare and in companies that do security and you know a lot of companies that do how do you call it? I forget the name all the time.
And industry.
The defense industry. There are a lot of bigger clients, and I always forget. Maybe it's something. It's something I. It's something. So there are a lot of defense industries are doing it like that. And what they do, they create like a selection repository that stands between the outside world and their organization. And what they do, every package that's coming in the organization, they put it in this repository. They manually check it, and after it's approved, they kind of move it into their pipeline, into the internal repositories where the developer can take the package and use it. So obviously, it's a lot of strengths on the development team and slows down the development lifecycle. Though, from your point, where you were before you start using the JFrog, the scan later or the pre-selection?
Yeah, so initially we considered the scan later approach, but we quickly understood that this will add a lot of work for the developers and will basically lead to first missing out on a lot of issues, and then if we detect them so late, will tremendously increase the amount of the developers when they have to go back and fix, replace a package, change the way they're using a package just to like address a security issue. So this is why we need to do the prevention, like to test before, but then we understood that we will need to invest a lot of resources, like human resources, to do this. It's both like an IT infrastructure where you have to set up some sort of DMZ or DMZ zone where you copy packages in, and someone need to scan them and decide which one the developer can use. So after this like very short research, we understood we need a solution. We need an automated solution that will do this for us. Like, it's not reasonable, again, for our resources and with the technologies we have today, it's not reasonable for us to invest so much resources either in the detection and fix later or in the early prevention. So we needed like an automated solution that we can just plug in into our pipeline and will do this screening for us.
So I totally understand. So both of the solutions are less than great, and I'm curious about our listeners, what are they doing? So leave your comments below of what are you doing right now, how you handling this case. And so based on this problem that you mentioned, so teams that cannot do that or that, we developed curation. So curation is basically it's an automated solution that sits between the outside world and your organization. So every time that developer wants to use a package, it automatically goes through curation, through the policies that you set up in curation, and it's curated. And if the package is okay, the developer gets it without any interference. And if the package is problematic, the package is blocked, and then you have an audit, you know why, and then you start a conversation between the developer and a security team is of should this package be blocked? But it kind of ends the conversation of is it checked? Do we can use it? And you mentioned before that developers are afraid
Yeah,
that.
again, for me, as again, as a development group inside the healthcare organization, security is the top priority. And for every new developer that I'm onboarding, I'm making this very clear. So for me, the developers are really anxious about this, and they're really afraid that they will be the ones that introduce a security risk. So, and after a few months of working with curation, they really like this sense of safety net, that someone else is telling them, you're okay, you're using a package that is safe, or this package that you try to use very early on in the research stage of a new feature is risky, you shouldn't use it, and then they try to go and find other solutions. So again, even the developers, again, in my team, really like the sense of working with curation, that they have like this big brother that can tell them you're okay, or you should not do that.
So just to drive the point of so to have the prevention as the beginning of the CI/CD of the development lifecycle, and then they have the detection. So, like, what are the advantages that we see from the prevention step? Why should you go to prevention? So, first of all, what we see from our clients, 50% of the CVs are can be stopped at prevention at the gate. So that means that if you usually have about 100 CVs at your, let's say, releases or during the build stages, if you're using curation, no new CVs will come into your organization, and then you will be reducing this number of CVs by about 50%. And there is like little known fact, Dor, I don't know if you know that. So from the research on the security breaches, there are, I think, twice as many breaches on the high CVs than on the critical. And a lot of our clients say we don't have time to fix the high CVs because this is the development team. We find the CVs and then we fix only the high ones, and the critical ones, and the high ones we don't have time. And then when I tell them that most of the security breaches coming from the high CVs because of that reason, because people don't fix high CVs, they keep them in their code, in their production, and then they're attacked. There are much more high CVs than criticals, and it's very hard to handle.
Yeah.
So I know you have a system in your organization to handle them, to handle.
Yeah, so actually, unfortunately, there are a lot of high CVs. Critical, not that much, but there are a lot of high CVs. And in these cases, what helps me is the JFrog contextual analysis that actually tells me after the build if this CV is actually applicable to my code. And in most cases, it has some general scary looking CVE that my code doesn't even go through the path that exposes it. So again, it really helps me focus on the really critical issues that I do have in my code and not spend a lot of time exploring and understanding each CVE and if it really is applicable to my code or not. So again, this is a great feature that really helps me
Yeah.
like minimize the amount of resources that I need to invest in order to prevent security issues.
Yeah, exactly. So what you're referring to was it's a different product in the JFrog suite, which called Advanced Security, which actually does a contextual analysis. So as I mentioned before, one product is good to reduce the amount, the funnel, the number of violations that you have, but you need the whole suite if actually you want to handle a large number of violations quickly. So this is the Advanced Security feature, which uses a contextual analysis to actually give you an idea if this code is reachable, the violation is reachable from your code or not. And this also saves you a lot of time down the road on the 50% that are left in your after the scan. Another big thing that is on the prevention side, that is a big bonus for the prevention side. I think though you mentioned here that it's a very easy to replace a package in the beginning when developers doing the research or starting a new project. It's very hard to replace it when it's during a release or during later build stages. And a lot of companies can miss a deadlines. I know that I met few clients that had 2-3 weeks delay because they found some critical CVE in their build before the release, and then they had to go back and replace this package, and it's not so easy. I don't know if if you remember some similar experience in your organization.
So unfortunately, for this case, it's not that relevant for us because actually we implemented curation in a very early stage of our new product development. So for all our new products that are actually being scanned by JFrog and X-ray and curation and all that stuff, we really are catching things very early on. So it's going to be very rare that something will going to hit the production or production ready image before we catch all the big stuff.
Yeah. That brings me to the security benefits. So one of to what you said. So one of the benefits of blocking malicious and prevention. So people say, okay, I will not have malicious, but even having malicious in your in still can give a negative impact organization if your developer downloads a malicious package. Also, if you have a malicious package in your repositories, that can also affect production. I think we have some connection issues. Do you see me okay?
It's a bit broken off.
It's a bit now I hope it's okay. Now connection, just a second. Can you hear me now?
I think it's better.
So like not many people know, but there are a lot of benefits of blocking malicious in the prevention stage than in the development stage. So if you are downloading, if you say no, I will never have malicious on my program, you still can have a malicious on your developer's laptop that can affect and can be attacked there, or you can have your malicious in your Artifactory, which is also very creates a big security risk. So saying I will find malicious later does not solve your problem. And
I have to say,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I totally agree because again, for me, I personally didn't really care about this stuff, but this was a big selling point for our CISO that really liked the shift left approach and preventing any malicious things even getting into our Artifactory or cloud tenants. So again, big feature for security guys because they really like this approach of not letting anything even through the door.
Okay, and the last big benefit for this for the prevention is centralized visibility. As you might know, so we had like an issue that we found that somebody in the organization created a new pipeline. Security team did not know about that. It was not scanned, and things were going to production without being actually scanned. And when you implement curation, you know that everything that's coming into your organization when you go to the prevention stage, everything that's coming to the organization is and you can see it in one place. So as a CISO, as a security person, it's very important to have a full visibility of what you're getting into the organization. So I would like to do like a short demo on the product itself, and so we can see what does it look like in real life, and then you can also like from your side say, okay, this is what we do, what we have. I'm just curious, what are you guys doing? I will log into my JFrog platform. So setting up curation is a breeze. So it's 3 easy steps. It's part of your X-ray. If you to have curation, you need to have X-ray. So it's very very cool to do is just to turn it on. Then you will need to add the repositories that you want to be curated. So you can choose all of the repositories, or you can choose a specific ones. I would choose just specific ones just for this demo. So let's say I want to create this Maven and this Go. And now I know that anything that goes through this repositories will be covered. So I can see 2 of my 155 repositories are also already connected to curation. And then I create policies. So I create automatic policies based on my organization needs. So let's start with the malicious. So let's give it a name, and I can choose if I select all the repositories in the organization, specific repositories, or a repositories by package type. So I can put it like, let's say it's less relevant for the malicious, but you can select npm, Maven, Go, or whatever. We will choose all because we want protection on all of our organization. We will choose condition from the multiple conditions that are JFrog pre-made for you, so you don't need to guess. You also have a custom conditions for advanced user that understand what they're doing more in the system, and they want to create their own condition. But I think for the start, you have the JFrog condition that we made for you that you can start using right now. And so let's go and select the malicious package. And you have a full explanation. You can add a waiver to this packages, to this policy, sorry. And then you have 2 options. You can go for a block. That means that every package that will come through your organization will be blocked, or you can do a dry run. So dry run is kind of test mode for the security team to see what the impact on your organization will be and how it affects your organization before you actually start blocking developers. And you can notify by email. The blocked person will be notified, and you can also notify yourself if you want to that there was a blocking event. So we'll put it on a block, and that's it from this point in time. you have a malicious policy that you know is on all the or um, uh, will monitor all the packages and block any malicious activities that you have. So though I think you also started with malicious, right? This is your was your first policy, right?
So now basically we started with it with only this, and now we have block every malicious package, and we have warn on high and critical. So basically, and we have like a more centralized management. So basically, we have three platform admins that they will get notification on everything that breaks this policy. In case of malicious software, the developer would just be blocked when you try to download it, and then either he understands uh, immediately what is the issue, or he can go into the platform and see why he was blocked, or he will contact one of the administrators. But basically, this is the way we decided to implement the workflow with curation.
Yeah. So actually, you mentioned something important here. I want to show how the block looks. So we have a full audit, as we said beforehand, and full audit from curation of what happened. So you can go back and see all the events that happen in case of blocked or dry run. So for the past 30 days, you have 180 events. You can see the approved packages, and you can see the policies, and you can also go and say, okay, let's filter out and go to, let's see the blocked ones. And you can see, okay, this one was blocked by high CVEs. So you can see who requested it, what is the policy, why it was blocked. You can see the CVE, the severity of the CVE, and you see also you have a recommendation for the fixed version. You can go also to Catalog, and which is a complementary tool to JFrog Curation. Catalog is actually giving a large database of all the packages that we support, so you can actually understand why it was blocked and read further and see, okay, this was blocked because of A, and then you can kind of try to mitigate and see how you can mitigate the risk with another packages. So you told me you use the catalog feature, right?
Yeah, sure. It's really helpful again to understand quickly, like what is this package, what JFrog thinks of it, or the CVEs it has, the CVEs that it was flagged with.
Yeah, so you can read about the CVEs in the catalog. You can also look for packages. Let's say I want to download Moin, so I have the Moin package, npm. I will go and read about this package, and I can see all the severities that are affecting this package. If it's transitive, if it's non-transitive, I can see the number of versions. Okay, so we had some technical glitch. I hope it's okay right now. So we saw the demo of how the platform looks from the AppSec team side, from the security team side. Now let's see. I want to show a short video about the developer experience, how he sees the curation in the CLI. So we have like a short video here. I will make it full screen. If it works, I can see it right here. So when the developer does an npm install, if the install is okay, everything passes, no issues. You can see it takes literally no time from your installation. The installation takes as usual, no security threats, no interruptions. But if you have a security threat and you have an interruption, the developer will receive an error message. You will see it in a second. In most cases, the packages are, of course, approved. We have like about 95 to 99% of approval, depending on your policies. But in case that that they are not approved. Let's see, he does an npm install of a package that is problematic, that violates policy. You see that the thread detected, he gets a 403, the package cannot be downloaded. And then he runs a audit command and he sees in the audit that two policies were violated, and he also has a recommendation of what to do with the package if there is an update version, a later version that does not have a specific violation. The developer will get that. He changes the package version to a later one, and then does an install from install again, and the package will pass without any issues. Again, the video is a bit shaky, but okay, the video is stuck. Okay, so practical examples from the real world. So I gather some feedback from some clients, and I also would like to hear Draw's feedback about how it helped him. So just last week I talked to a client. They had a malicious package blocked by curation. They're a software development company, a large software development company, and they're usually very careful with what they download, but they downloaded an npm package that brought in a dependency. The dependency was malicious and it was caught by curation. They were very surprised, but very happy they put malicious blockage. So again, we don't see any downside to blocking malicious packages. Um, we have companies that used an ML allowed list where you define what ML packages you want to use in Hugging Face, for instance, and then only those packages are allowed in your organization. And if you want to have a new package, you add it to the list. You check the package, you add it to the list. It's very important for a lot of companies that start using the ML models, and afraid to download something malicious. Critical CVs in npm. We have a big automotive company that have an old code that they say they need to have an ability to start cleaning their code, but they cannot do it at once. So they say we're gonna stop the leakage, stop the new package entering, and keep on littering our code with more and more CVs, and then we can gradually start cleaning the code from the inside. But we need to stop this leakage before we can do the cleaning. And this is actually from Dror's team, what he said, that it is hard for maybe Dror, you can elaborate on that.
Yeah. So this is a very typical scenario where someone has a new task to solve a new issue, and he actually researches a few packages that practically can be interchangeable, and if one of them is blocked by the policy, either it's malicious or has some very high CVE, then it will, let's say, safely guide him to an alternative package that he knows it's safe. And actually, again, this part of developers really like, because it helps them lower the amount of
of work they're doing. Yeah, it reduces the stress in the team.
the stress of dealing with decisions of what is the right choice. Should I use this one or this one? Again, we have this little brother that sits on our shoulders and tells us, this is, you can use it, it's safe. Don't use this one, it's not safe.
Thank you for that. So as a lot of you that hear that say, okay, this sounds great, it all sounds great, but we will get a lot of pushback from our development team, from our DevOps teams, from nobody likes security rules implemented on them, and we gathered kind of tips of how to implement it, especially for large organizations. We know change is hard. So we done it based on multiple clients to help you to start working with curation. And I know that the whole team is a little bit different in that sense. They're more small teams that you told me you had almost no trouble onboarding to curation.
Yeah, again, we started fairly early, so it was really fast. And again, even for the developer at the end, it was like we saw more benefits than issues or something annoying.
Yeah. But for the large team, we understand there is a learning curve. So
Mhm.
what we advise is you start with the malicious packages, you just block malicious for the whole organization, you know you're protected. Then we have a feature that's called a dry run where you can estimate the impact of your policies on the organization. So you try to measure the impact, start measuring the impact. After you are happy with the policy's impact, you can lower or higher the policies bar. After you're happy with that, you select a few pilot teams that start working with curation. You can target curation policy to those pilot teams that start working and you get their feedback, and then you kind of extrapolate from there. It's also very important to create like an external SLA of what happens when the package is blocked. Who do you go to? Who is the responsible person? How to unblock a package, or how to find an alternative package like Dror mentioned. And then you kind of expand from there to more and more and more and more teams. We see in medium organizations, it could take months or two. So it's a very quick to adopt product if you're on it. In a very large organization, it takes up to 3 months. In small organizations, we can see a high adoption I would say under a month, as it's so easy to configure in relation to JAS and X-ray. So, do you remember how long it took you to adopt? Just
Again, for us it was very quick because we implemented this like very early on in the process that we actually build our pipelines. So I can say we onboarded for the entire JFrog platform and all the security stuff in about 2 weeks. It was really quick again, because right from the start, we built all our pipelines and all our development workflows around this.
around the security.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so with that, though, I want to thank you so much for being here today. It's been a pleasure. Um, I want to invite everybody, if they want to try on curation, to go to JFrog website and do a tour. You can during the tour you can see the features by yourself. And if you want to try them really, you need to create a free trial, and then in the free trial you need to ask somebody from the sales team to enable curation on your free trial, so you can start the conversation with the sales team, and then they will help you and guide you how to test curation and how to do a guided POC. And with that, I want to thank everybody.
Thank you.
Are you sure you want to stop?